Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I wanted to show you my scrapbook and kind of show you how I got into scrapbooking and all that jazz. First off, I want to start with some of the supplies you might want to get if you want to consider starting scrapbooking. So first off, you are going to want to have some kind of background paper. The way I kind of stocked up on mine is I waited until there was like a crazy sale at Joann Fabrics and I got a bunch of it because this stuff can be really pricey, but I got a really good deal on it. I don't remember exactly how much I paid, but I remember being like, oh my god, this is way cheaper than it normally is. And so I got some really fun ones like this. It's a little bit bent, but that'll flatten out. These like really cute birds and just some solid pink, like this watercolor blue. Now, some people stick to a really cohesive theme. I don't really do that. I just kind of go with ones that I like and that's kind of stand out to me. But the more cool and minimalist you want to get with this, the cheaper it's going to actually be for you. So I've seen people do, actually this is a really good example because I've seen people do it really cool just by getting like plain paper. Like if the dots weren't on it, just like plain paper and using like black and white and this brown color. And it looks really, really cool. I'm a dork and I like these really fun patterns. And oh my god, I love this Christmas one. I want to take lots of pictures this Christmas so I can make a Christmas page. A lot of these are literally just like random designs. That's all I'm going to show you right now because this is kind of a big stack, but you get the gist. And another thing I like to do is have paper to cut from. So kind of my style of scrapbooking, I guess, is I like to have a background and then I like to have a picture and I like to have a frame around the picture. And if I do like words in there too, I like to have a frame around the words. With something like that, I really like having a pad like this. And this is really pretty like watercolor paper. And I don't know if you saw there, but I had like a scrap that I hadn't fully used in there, like these guys I partially used, and that's what I really like about the fact that it's bound, because these little scraps are way harder to keep track of if they're just loose. So I really like just keeping it bound like this. And then speaking of cutting, I like to have a very specific pair of scissors that are just dedicated to my scrapbooking. I have all of my scrapbooking stuff in this little drawer container, and I have it in like a set of 3 drawers, so I keep it in there. And these scissors are not used for anything else because I don't know if it's just me, but I always lose scissors and I'm like, I want these really pretty like marbly pink scissors to specifically stay with my scrapbooking stuff, so they're nice and sharp and they're always there when I need them. Also, in terms of cutting, this is totally just down to like if this is your style or not, but for me, I really love having these fun scissors. These I'm pretty sure I got at Joann Fabrics or a similar store. You can find them at places like that. It was a good deal to get like a giant set of them like this. So they're all gonna be, another thing I really like about these is it has like what the design is gonna look like right on the scissors, which is really nice. So obviously like that's what the blade looks like, so that's what the paper will cut like. And I really like doing that for borders on things. And there's lots of really fun ones. There's probably more than I actually needed, especially since a lot of them are so similar, but I think it's really a fun way to like break up the page and stuff like that. So I don't regret purchasing those. This is definitely like a classic scrapbooking item. You can totally scrapbook without it, but I personally think it's the kind of thing that's worthwhile to buy, and it is a paper cutter. This one was not that expensive and it just makes it so much easier to cut a straight line, especially if you're cutting photos. I really like using this, especially if you only have one copy of a photo and you want to get it right the first time. You don't want to risk making a mistake. I really like having a paper cutter for that purpose. I'm someone that really likes writing on my scrapbook, so I'll write like the dates of things or like what something is or people's names and that kind of stuff. And I only have a few pens that I really use for scrapbooking. I use the black one probably the most often, but I have a few of these. If you think that you're gonna be like doodling a lot and like writing all over the place in your scrapbook or like making the designs on the background yourself, that could be a great way to spend money, a great way to save money. Or instead of investing in, fancy background paper, you could maybe just invest in a set of really nice markers or pencils or something to do it yourself and make it your own style, which would be really cool. You are gonna need some sort of like method of sticking everything together. So I really like this Elmer's Craft Bond glue. I have another one that's a backup here and it's the same deal, but it's scotched. So I like a kind of glue pen like this. It just makes everything really easy and it prevents it from getting too sticky and too crazy. So you can use a hot glue gun. Hot glue just kind of stresses me out. It gets really stringy and it gets everywhere, but that's totally a personal preference. And you could use tape, but I prefer glue. You can just be a little bit more precise with it. But again, it depends on the kind of thing you're gonna do. So basically, that is all I have in terms of scrapbooking supplies. I think where it's super easy to get really carried away and spend a lot of money and not necessarily get your money's worth are specific themed stickers. And I know that can be kind of hard because when you walk down that scrapbooking aisle at the craft store, those are always the things that like your eye is drawn to, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's like this taxi from New York City and like this whole themed like baby shower stuff, which if you are specifically scrapbooking for a specific event, you might want to do that. But I think you can spend a lot of money really fast by getting all those fancy stickers. So that's something that I kind of try to stay away from. But yeah, that is my scrapbooking kit, I guess you could say. And I would recommend getting some kind of receptacle, I guess, to put everything in, because this is a great place for me to store photos and scraps and stuff like that. And I really like scrapbooking. Like this is a program from a play that I was in. I'm gonna put this into my scrapbook at some point. So yeah, stuff like that. This is actually an example of something that I bought that I have not used yet. And this is actually really expensive. So this is probably a don't need to buy it sort of a thing, but this is washi tape. That is something that can also be so expensive. And I fell into the trap with this, and I will probably use it, but totally don't need it. Another thing is you're gonna need an album. So for me, I have this just sort of plain metallic one. I have this picture of flowers that I put in it. I wanted something kind of just generic in the front of it because I don't really have a theme. I'm gonna show you my scrapbook, so I'll show you what's inside in just a second, but you'll see I sort of have a theme for each page, but I don't have, like, this whole book doesn't really have a theme other than it's just like my life, I guess. I really like how big it is because I like having a lot of space to work with. And yeah, you just need to like be aware of the size your album is, especially if you're gonna get paper to go in it. So what this album comes with is a piece of paper in each page. So this is a page I haven't used yet. I haven't put anything on this, and it just comes with this white paper in it. So you could just use this white paper. What I do is I just place my scrapbooking paper in on top of that. I'm not going to show you everything that's in my scrapbook just because it has like a lot of people's faces in it, and I don't know if they all want to be in this video, but there are some pages that I can definitely show you. Okay. So yeah, this is my first page. It says freshman year 2014. I went to Penn State Barron, and this was like the little lion shrine there. This was my dorm room with all my musical posters. And this was my little fish. I named him Agador Spartacus. And this was my desk, which I just think it's really cool to have a picture of what my desk looked like freshman year of college. I don't know, maybe you think that's like silly, but I like seeing that. I like seeing like what was going on in my life. This was my planner, and that was my bedspread, and they had like the exact same pattern, which I thought was super cool, so I took a picture of it. And so that is my first page. The next few have a lot of people's faces in it. So this is just my family. I know they won't mind being in the video. So this was actually from freshman year of college also. This was probably like my first weekend, and my parents came up to my school and they brought my little brother with them, and they took me to the Erie Zoo, and we had so much fun. And I love this picture of them because this is my parents. I don't know if you can see because there's shadows. And this is my little brother, and he's just so short in between them. He's such a big boy now. It's like crazy to see that. So yeah, I just wrote like Erie Zoo on there. So you can see like, this is not perfect, first of all. Like, that's sort of, I've incorporated into my style of scrapbooking the fact that it is not perfect. So things are just sort of, it looks very homemade, and I'm totally okay with that because the point of scrapbooking for me is just to preserve the memories. It's not to make it like some perfect thing. So yeah, I love looking at that. And to me, that's just such a fun way to capture that whole day. And this next one was from a trip I took to New York City with my mom and my Nana. I actually vlogged this, so I can link that video down below if you're interested in seeing it. Yeah, this is just a picture of the playbills from shows that we saw, a picture of the stage. But clearly that was the part of the trip I was the most excited about, was seeing the shows. We actually did do some other things while we were there, but judging off of this, that was like the most important thing to me. What I want to do for the next part of this video is I have another page that I'm gonna work on, and I want to show you how I do that. I have some eczema going on my insides of my elbows, so if you can see that, that's what that is. Don't be alarmed. For me, the most important thing is to sort of lay out what I'm gonna do beforehand. So these are the pictures I want, and the theme is kind of, it's my high school friends, basically. These, I mean, I'm still friends with them, but it's just sort of high school memories. So I've got these pictures here, and I don't know if these are actually all going to fit, but I can do like some overlapping. And actually, yeah, I actually do think I'm gonna be able to get all of these in, because I'm gonna cut this one. Yeah, so some of them I think I'm gonna keep square. Like this one I think I'm gonna keep square because kind of like people that are in it are taking up the entire page there, so I don't want to crop anybody out. Same with this one, I think I'll probably keep that square. But the rest of them, especially this one, because there's a lot of space that's not us that's in it, I'm gonna cut, and this one I'm gonna cut, and this one I already have cut. So that's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna speed through this next part because it's pretty self-explanatory, and I think it'll be easier if I just show you rather than tell you. That is how I do my page. It's still a little bit not dry, so I want to be a little bit careful with it, but this is it. Like I said, the theme for this one is basically just high school. It's really loose. I don't have a lot of rules because this is just something that I'm doing for me. It's just something that I do for fun, so I don't really like to put, you know, too much restriction on it for myself. But I labeled a few things. This picture was This picture is me and my friend Reagan when we were in The Importance of Being Earnest. Oh no. This was senior prom. This was senior night for marching band. And this was when we did the Applefest 5K. So yeah, I'm gonna put this down now before everything falls off of it. I don't know if I like the Scotch glue pen as much as I like the Elmer's one. The Elmer's one I think dries a little bit faster, so you don't have to be as careful with it. So I would probably recommend this one over that Scotch one. I didn't use any of my fancy scissors that time, so like I said, you can totally get by and make a really cute product, you know, without using that. So it's something that's super relaxing for me. I just like put on some music or a video or something, and I just chill out and do it, and then at the end I have this really cool thing that I can look back on and, you know, have memories with. Let me know if you want to see this again. I can make this like a series if you want to scrapbook with me, or if you have any other questions about like how to do it or anything. Like I said, I am not an expert. Some people go hard and they have like really fancy, like really intricate things, or even just like more minimalist and cool styles. Mine is just literally whatever I want, just kind of thrown in there, but that's the way I like it. So, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.